At this time in our agenda, we're going to go to open discussion.
Did any other guest speakers want to say anything?
You gentlemen want to say anything?
Talk with us, inform us even more. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know how the rest of the board feels, and I don't know how the rest of the community feels. I'm confused. I'm completely confused, and I'm being very honest. Because I am not, even though you came tonight, sir, and I really, really appreciate you guys coming, but as far as when I leave here tonight, I'm still confused. I've been misled, misinformed. I haven't made your meetings like I should have, like I make my commissioners' meetings. I go to them, I am completely misinformed. And I apologize for that to you, and I didn't come here tonight, or I didn't want you to come here tonight so I can beat you up, no. I come here to try to get some understanding where everything's at, so I can help the community to understand where it's at. It's not a complete loss, don't get me wrong, but I'm still confused.
Well, I will be glad to go over it again. I mean, there's a conceptual plan for serving the undeveloped large.
That's what bothers me, the undeveloped. You say when you talk about the undeveloped, that's fine, and that's good for the builders. If they know that a certain piece of tract of land is coming in, that you're going to supply sewer to, I might even jump on it and buy it and start developing it. That's not my point. My point is I'm fighting for the folks that's here now that need the sewer, that have their septics backing up. They can't walk out in their backyard. But that's what I'm fighting for.
I understand that, but again, that's the first I've heard of that problem. So that problem needs to be addressed, and we need to know where the problem is occurring. And if you can get us that information, we can get you the answer.
Okay. I've got notes on that. I'm going to go out to and we'll find out something on that.
Can I say something on that, John?
Sure.
Way back 3 or 4 years ago, well, last Tom said, we've been working on this for a number of years. And way back 3 or 4 years ago, before this wastewater treatment plant process and outfall lines and whatnot got approved, we had 2 or 3 public hearings that went out in newspapers, radio stations. We invited everybody out. I know we had one at Sandy Grove Elementary School, and I know we've had a number of different meetings. It was public notice and whatnot, and that the plan for those outfall lines and infrastructure for that wastewater treatment plant has never changed. It's been the same since we got it permitted. It's been the same thing. I think it's on the reverse side of that map that Tom had up there. It shows you the outfall lines, and you could probably go up and lease a bill. Probably got a copy up in the county's office if anybody wants to go up there and get it. You can get access to it, and you can probably get it electronically if you need it. You could take Logan's card or my card, and somebody will get you information, but it's the same exact thing that we've got input. To speak on this project that Tom just presented, I think I understand your problem, but you got to understand from the county standpoint that you've got a limited amount of resources and funds to put in infrastructure. And you guys that have been here, yes, you're all right, you're paying your taxes, but that still is not enough to come in and put this infrastructure along just to get you what you need. So I'll tell you what, looking at this plan with all these different groups in here, I'd be pushing these developers to put this in, because what it does is open up that infrastructure for you to access it, because it's right beside where you're having problems at. Instead of being like what happened over what Tom was saying over in PwC and Spring Lake and places like that, where you either had to get condemned or you had to come and do the retrofit, and you're talking about somebody ponying up $10,000 to $20,000 out of their own pocket to pay for those retrofits. That's a lot of money. Especially for one household. And that's what I'm saying with this project that we have on the table. The county couldn't afford to, as a whole, put everything in by themselves. So with the developer's participation and FIF fees up front, and you get a game plan together where you say, okay, we're going to come in, we're going to pay half of the infrastructure. The county's going to take the other part of the risk and pay to get the infrastructure in. Like I said, that opens up the doorway for you guys to have it. It might not be sitting in your backyard, but at least it's not 3 miles away. You might be a mile away. You might be a half a mile away.
Who are the, do you know who the developers are that might be looking at this tract of land? These tracts of land? Does anybody know?
Well, I know one of them is Ralph Huff,
With H&H Builders.
H&H Builders. I
We
know.
wanted to come in and say, okay, we don't need septic tanks anymore. What this was, and this is the main map I'm looking at, because the light brown is the one that really gets down to the nuts and bolts. What it does is shows where the undeveloped areas are for this county. So when we create this sewer system, we can develop that area. There are so many things that want to come to Hope County, but they won't come until we have sewer. You know, people always tell me we need a movie theater, we need something for our children to do. This is our first step towards that. You know, because we can't attract all those things without that. We can't attract another big box store without this. You know, so it was an investment for the future of this county, so that we could move forward when it comes to attracting things, to lower our unemployment rate, to make it where the tax burden is not so heavily on the shoulders of the citizens, but we get more corporations and businesses here in this county. So, you know, I'm not sure if they knew of the extent of the issues with septic tanks and all that. You know, my friend Mr. Locke there talked about all the public hearings. That's why it's so vital. You know, whenever we have public hearings, had people came and said, look, my sewers are backing up. You know, we're having issues. It would have been so easy to move that line 500 feet that direction to cover your house. You know, that's the importance of going to a public meeting and saying, look, this is our problem. You know, I'm going to be the squeaky wheel, and I'm not going to stop hollering until you help me. I guarantee you that line would have been moved 500 feet to cover your street. You know, so I just want to make sure that the reasoning behind this system is out there, but also as a ray of hope, as these developers do come in these other areas, that it will be possibilities to pick up locations. It won't be as expensive because we're already coming here anyway. When they do come, that's when you get out and fight. That's when you go to the utilities meetings, get your petition, make sure you're there, let them know what you want, and that's when you have a bigger bargaining tool to make sure that if you live close within these areas, these colored areas, that hey, how much would it cost to cover Live Oak Drive 2 if you're going to come into this ring? You know, that's when you really get a chance to make your voices heard on those situations. Mr. McNeil talked about how expensive it is, very expensive. This treatment project is an enterprise fund. That means as people use it, it pays for itself. You know, so we can't keep building because it has to pay for itself. It's an enterprise fund. So we have to make sure that it is able to be sustained, self-sustaining. So as we move forward, I definitely echo Mr. Brownie in getting involved and coming to the meetings. Had I not come here, I would have never ever known, never had a clue that there were people who were having issues with their septic tanks and that were wishing to be on this. I grew up with a septic tank. You know, my family fought being on county water because they didn't want to pay it. You know, so I won't know unless you tell me. You know, so I appreciate all of the comments and concerns. Please feel free to continue letting us know. I have business cards. I don't want to take up any more of your time. After the meeting, I have business cards. Please feel free to get my business card. It has my personal cell phone number on it. I don't hide. You know, please don't call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. I won't be too happy if I pick up. But feel free to call me any time of the day. And any concerns you may have, I'd definitely love to hear it. If I don't know the answer, there are a lot of questions I don't know the answer to. I can do my best to find it out. So. With that being said, I won't take up any more of your time.
Okay, Mr. Tom, I just want to say this to you that I really respect him. I know him since he was a little kid. I mean, he was very, very small. I know his dad. I know his grandpa. And just a wonderful guy here. And I think if he tells you he's going to do something, he will definitely do it. Of course, I didn't spank him when he was small. But the fact of the matter is that I was so glad that he at least came. That shows he's interested. He shows he wants to do something. This guy is probably going to be one of your state senators shortly. You know, but the thing is, I think with him, he takes the people's interest. And I noticed that today when I went down to the county board, when they had the county commissioners meeting today on the budget, which I'm going to talk about. And he's not going to like me for it, but I am going to put a plug in for him. I think that what we need to do, like you said, you've got to get out to the meetings. You've got to find out what's going on in the community. You've got to listen. I am very sorry that I missed utilities meetings. If I'm going to get involved with the community and find out what's going on, I would have been better informed And I'm stupid to that, a fact, but now that I have learned by you folks coming and telling me about the utilities meetings and all these, I will make sure that I make them. And I just wanted to say that after a little bit of meeting tonight, I'm going to get up and speak again and run my mouth again about what we found out today at the county commissioners meeting on the budget. I am, what my thoughts were, okay? I know, my buddy ain't gonna like it, but that's okay too. But the people need to know because they weren't there at the meeting. They were not there. They read what they read in the paper, Facebook, YouTube, iTube, and all these other tubes, but they don't get the facts unless they're there. But I hope you stick around. And if anybody has any questions for Mr. Thomas, I'm sure he'll answer them. He's been an upfront guy. He has really been an upfront guy. And I think we all applaud him for that. Okay, anything else?
Anybody have any more questions regarding our sewer? Yes, sir.
Well, most of you don't know, I'm from Dave Baker, I'm with Dave Engineering Company. I've done a lot of this, and Tom and I used to be over in Cummins County and gone through a lot of these problems I've had in the over 50 years. So I really have a handle on what we're doing here. I've been hearing a lot about septic tanks failures in the Rockfish area, so I went to Jeff Udy and asked him to give me a report. He took, instead of a 4-mile radius, he took a 1-mile radius of the septic tank systems that had been in each area and how much repairs had had to be done. He did this in the, I've got a list of the ones that they did, and like I say, it's in a 1-mile area. And then in addition to the subdivisions, he did individual streets like Barefoot Road, Wall Street Road, Dennis Hill Road, those types of things. In the subdivisions itself, in this 1-mile area, there's 1,035 septic tanks systems. Of those, 45 have been repaired. Now, that may have been that they used their repair area, and I've also got the dates of the subdivisions were when the subdivision was put in place. And so of that 1,035 houses in each particular subdivision, 44 repaired areas. And he told me personally, he said, this doesn't mean necessarily that they're running down the street. There may be some cases that you know of that's this way, but he said at least right in here, what he's talking about, that's 4%. Now, you go start trying to put sewer in there, and all these houses take care of 4%. I mean, it's going to cost you a fortune. And the same thing is true with the streets and the roads. There's 160, and that includes a lot of business and stuff. And some of them may be failing that we've been talking about. There's 29 of those. That's 18%. So I'm not sure we've got a major septic tank problem failure that we can solve. Let me show you something on the map that we can talk about. You're talking about putting this outfall line in. The county's going to put that in to serve this area over here. That's already in the books. I mean, already in the plans there for them to do that, to serve this development over here. That gets it in. Who's that benefit? The developer, which I'm all for developers. I work for them every day. That's going to benefit the developer. You say, well, maybe this guy right over here now in that subdivision can get it. He's not going to get it unless you put it in that subdivision. You're not going to go over and run it to one guy. You're going to put it in the whole subdivision, and you've got to make all those people in that subdivision participate. You either got to assess them or let them pay up front or something. They're going to have to pay for it because the county's not paying for it as far as your tax money is concerned. This has to come out of this sewer utility right in top.
Oh, yeah.
So, in there, so if this line is put in, basically all it's going to do is help the developer. It's not going to help individual owners. And I can tell you right now, you'll never have sewer in those individual, because it just won't work. When you start trying to put sewer, they're talking about, you know, $10,000 to $20,000 to put that in that, and that may not be including the plumbing running it back in. Usually you did that much research on it just to see what you're not going to get, and it was never planned for that. I'm sure that it was never planned to go in and retrofit the existing, it was in there for new development comes in for the commercial area, for the hospitals and all that. That's what all this stuff is put in there for. It's not in there for the individuals, and you'll never get it, even though it might be what you want. There's not going to be enough people that's willing to pay for it. I've run into that when I was with the, I worked for the City of Fayetteville, I worked for the Public Works Commission, and I've been in private practice for about 40-some years. And that's what you find out. Guy has trouble with his septic tank. He goes in there and he petitions Hope County. He said, I want to put sewer in here. And Hope County says, okay, there's 100 in there, give me 75 of them to petition. Well, he goes to his neighbor, and his neighbor says, I'm not getting in trouble. I don't want to spend $5,000 to $10,000. You know, I don't have any trouble to sign up for it if you need to make it feasible. So he turns around, fixes his septic tank the best he can, and then the next year, his neighbor, who wouldn't sign the petition, he's having a problem. He said, I'm ready to sign the petition now. And the guy said, I just fixed mine, I don't want to sign it. So you don't get it done. The people just can't do it. I realize we'd like to be able to do this, but there's no way that you can do it without paying for it yourself. The county's not going to pay for it for you.
So I'm going to ask you a question. Stop you there just a minute, Dave.
Okay.
This petition that we put up with about the $4,000 and all financed by the county, this type of thing, is that a waste of time? In other words, you're telling these people if they sign that petition and agree, and enough of them, and they're not going to get it, it doesn't matter if they agree to do that?
Basically, that's what I'm telling you.
Well, I think you might be wrong. But anyway, they're heavy taxpayers, every one of them.
This is not taxpayers.
Doesn't make no difference. It'll make their property worth more money, which will make it more taxes. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, but wasn't the idea originally to get a line go through so you had the choice to hook up or not? Right now, we don't have a line. And that seems to be the big issue, getting a line through here so they can actually spur off onto it, and you have a choice to hook up and do it, just like the water line. They parallels, what's that road out there? Old Wire Road. It's 1.5 miles from my place. They're not coming down to my place or my 6 neighbors. But the idea is that on that Old Wire Road, you can bypass it, spur into it, or hook into it, or let it go down where it went into Robinson County.
The water line did the same thing when it come through. Exactly the same thing. They got people to sign a petition stating they would pay the water, and I made this statement in here before. And the reason I know so much about it is I was on the board of directors for Rockfish Water Corporation, which we wound up giving to the county 300 customers so they could get started in the water business. They had no intentions or implements to start a water system in the county. So they got a hold of that, and it makes a little money. They got a hold of that. People who signed up when they come by their doors for $300 will now pay $1,100 to $1,200 to get their water tap hooked. It'd be the same thing with the sewer. If you run by the house, when it goes by the house, they start paying. So the petition is here to be read. County don't have to do it, but it might be good to take a look at it if they're going to serve in places another year.
Then it's another $1,000 to get you a plumber to run the line from the water main to your house. And then it has to be inspected. Have to have a permit.
I don't quite understand the thing saying that we can't with as many people who lives in this community if they sign up for it. And I see some land on here that people got that I know they will develop it, but they're not covered in any with anything showing it coming anywhere around it. Just bypassing it, jumping roads and going into other people's. I have a problem with that. Anyway, I'm through.
Any more questions?
We got some folks
We have some
Gas-
special
Yes.
special guests from Piedmont Natural Gas. If you'd like to introduce yourself and kind of tell us a little bit what's going on.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Woodard, and I am the commercial specialist who handles 4 counties here. I handle Cumberland County, Robinson County, Hope County, and Bladen. Jonathan invited me here, and it's my pleasure to be here. I just wanted to come to let you know that as part of Piedmont Natural Gas, we're here to hear what's going on and what's going to be developed, because, and it does make sense when they say the need to find out what can be done in order to help certain things progress. So sometimes in order to get, A started, and to get it to Z, we're going to have to, come along and find out everything that we're going to need in order to get there. So my need for being here again is to put my information out there, whether it be wanting to know about gas lines. That's a big thing, natural gas. Saving you money, that's what we like to do. The gas industry is growing, and we want to be a part of this development here if we can be. And again, that's my need for being here, is to see what's going on, put our information out there as far as letting you know that Piedmont Natural Gas is here. And any questions that you have, I'll have business cards. At any time, feel free, you can always call. Again, what we want to do is to be a part of this, growing community and bring natural gas to you. And again, it's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Do you have any natural gas at Rockfish at all?
We do, certain areas, we do have some natural gas, and again, that's what we're looking at doing. Right now, the gas line is approximately about a mile away as far as in distance. Not too far, not that close, but again, the more we're looking at schools, the more that we can get on board, find out the need, we're able to see what we can do. So again, we really can't move until we know what the developers are planning to do, because in our, to be in our spot, we have put gas lines in, hundreds of thousands of dollars, get contracts signed, and the business doesn't even open, or these developers don't build. So again, we just want to know where we fit in to help you guys. So again, whether it's maps, CAD, anything that I can get and look at, I do have a copy of this. Again, it's going to help us to help the community of Rockfish, and just build it and grow.
I know you speak of natural gas, and it's probably out of your area, but what do you know about the fracking that's going on down here, Hope County?
Don't know a lot. And the reason I don't know a lot about it is because fracking is not even with what we do.
We just simply distribute the gas,
yes.
We don't frack it out.
And that's what a lot of people think when they hear natural gas, oh, you're fracking, but no, we're not,
Well, I knew you wasn't, but I just wanted to know how much you knew about. Maybe Mr. Thomas can let you know later.
Yeah, we're trying to stay away from that. But again.
Can you tell me how close you are? You say you have some lines. Where are your lines?
Right now the lines are closer to some of the schools, like Hope County schools.
Well, we've got a school on Rockfish Road. Are you?
We're not there. We're looking at that one. It was brought to my attention that it is possibly some developing that wants to be done there. Right now, we're just looking at possibilities of the distance of the gas line, possibilities down the line. We'd love to hear what's going on right now, but again, we do have to focus on down the road. So, we're looking at to see what's going to be developed down the road. Again, that school there is it, and then if they develop across the street, that would be awesome. So, right now, that's just what we're looking at again, to just see where we are, what's coming about, and it just takes time sometimes for us to put everything into play. But again, we're taking it a little bit at the time.
The reason why I asked, I grew up with natural gas.
Yes, ma'am.
Love it again.
Yes, yes. And that's what we want to do.
If the school ever gets natural gas, it'll depend on what the guy who just bought the land up, or whether he develops that land across there and will put natural gas in it instead of electricity.
Yes, in certain areas, yes. And that's what we're getting. We went to these schools, we've got loads, we know that they're ready to connect. Our thing is now, some of these schools we know it's a definite, can't say definite, but it looks promising that we potentially can get gas, right. And we're just still trying to kind of capitalize on that. But again, yes, if we can get it to the schools, then what that's gonna do is gonna open it up for those neighborhoods, those businesses. So again, we're just trying to get it started, and then, you know, sky's the limit.
Where's your main distribution line at?
I cannot answer that question at this time,
Okay, thank you.
but I can get that information.
Is there natural gas right there at the bottom of the hill? About 300-400
And don't
feet.
hold me to this, and I apologize for not having that. As far as where the actual gas lines are right now, I'm not 100% sure. Again, they're kind of dispersed out, kind of all over. So again, but I can get access to that. And again, I'll have my cards. You feel free, call me at any time in any areas that you have concerns or want to know if gas is available. I can definitely get you that answer.
Well, let me ask you this then. You're talking about a developer, and this area that Polk County is the fastest growing county around here. Does your company have a percentile? In other words, so many houses or so many type business before we'll come in?
That's what we like to know. And so, say if a developer comes to me and he says, well, I'm looking to build 300 homes. Well, then we have a contract that I will have out, well, what are you willing to put into these homes? Are you willing to put in a water heater or furnace? With that, the cost of what it would cost us to run that gas line, we can then kind of determine whether we can move on running gas in this area for this developer based on what he's going to agree to put in.
Brownie, you need natural gas in this building, so, you know, it'll save you a chunk of change later on.
Brownie's getting
There we
beat
go,
up
okay.
today. You guys are really beating me up today.
Okay.
I may be able to go to the county commissioner's meeting after tonight.
Mr. Brown, can I add something to what Jennifer just said? You did real good, Jennifer. We brought Jennifer in and their group probably about 6-7 months ago. What we were doing is looking to get a bundle-away package. The gas lines are just like water and sewer lines. If you don't have the money to pay for them, you've got to be able to justify to the utilities that you're going to have enough service on those lines to pay for them. On Jennifer's behalf, I know she was involved in this project, but when the ethanol plant came in, just to give you one real good example, when the ethanol plant came, they said we needed natural gas. They said we're going to need X amount of BTUs per year is what we're going to be using. That was $1 million project to run the gas from. Your main gas line runs down Highway 20. I know you got one there. From Highway 20 back up to that plant, which is not that far of a distance. That was $1 million to run that one line. How long did the ethanol plant run? Not long at all. So that was $1 million that Piedmont Natural Gas invested, lost that money. So they've got a line sitting there. If you're closing up, they'd be glad for you to tap on that line right now.
Aren't they running the 6-inch pipes through there from their control plant?
I don't know.
When it comes out?
No plant really struck a home run.
Then the flip side, like I said, she came in, we got her looking at the schools. We got a project where we're trying to make major upgrades to all 13 of the Hope County schools right now. And that project is going on and moving right now. It's actually moving rather quickly, and it's a real good project for the county. Doesn't cost the taxpayers not one single dime other than what you're already